What if I told you your entire life savings could vanish overnight? As a sole proprietor, that's the risk you face every single day. Your personal assets are on the line with every business deal. But don't panic just yet. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a shield around your hard-earned money. I'll walk you through the simple steps to convert your sole proprietorship into an LLC. And it's easier than you think, and it can save you from financial ruin. And to help you get started, I've put together a free LLC guide that you can download right now at llcblueprint.com/free guide. Plus, if you're ready to set up your LLC, I highly recommend Northwest Registered Agents. They'll handle everything for you for as little as $39. For your convenience, I put all the links down in the description of this video, so go ahead and check them out. And before we move on, please know that I earn a small commission if you choose to shop through my links. This doesn't cost you anything extra and it helps me support my channel. So let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about something that could cost you everything you worked for. I know, it sounds dramatic, but trust me, this is serious stuff. Let's look at what it really means to be a sole proprietor. Now, you might think you're safe running your business as a sole proprietor, but here's the scary truth. Your personal assets are totally exposed. That means your house, your car, your savings, everything you own is up for grabs if something goes wrong with your business. Imagine losing your house, your car, and savings over one business mistake. It's not just a nightmare scenario. It happens more often than you think. In fact, about 36% of small business owners have faced a lawsuit at some point. That's more than 1 in 3. And these lawsuits aren't cheap. They can cost you anywhere from $3,000 to $150,000. For most of us, that kind of hit could be devastating. Let me share a quick story about a friend of mine who nearly lost it all. He ran a small landscaping business as a sole proprietor. One day, one of his employees accidentally damaged a client's expensive outdoor sculpture. The client sued, and suddenly my friend was on the hook for way more than he could afford. He almost lost his house trying to settle the case. It was a wake-up call for both of us. And here's the thing that most people don't realize about sole proprietorships. There's no separation between you and your business. Every contract you sign, every deal you make, it's all tied to you personally. And it's not just about lawsuits. If your business runs into debt, creditors can come after your personal assets too. So, why convert your sole proprietorship to an LLC? It's simple. Protection. An LLC creates a barrier between your personal assets and your business. It's like building a shield around everything you work so hard for. Plus, it can give your business more credibility and potentially some tax benefits too. But don't worry, there's a way to protect yourself and it's not as complicated as you might think. Converting to an LLC is actually pretty straightforward. It's a small investment that could save you from financial disaster down the line. So, let's get into it and break down exactly how you make this happen. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to securing your assets and giving your business a more professional structure. So, you might think an LLC is just a fancy business title, but it's actually your personal financial force field. Imagine a barrier that keeps your business separate from everything else you own. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, let me show you how this legal magic trick really works. Okay, so you know the risks of being a sole proprietor, but what's this LLC thing all about? LLC stands for Limited Liability Company, and it's like creating a protective bubble around your business. When you form an LLC, you're essentially telling the legal world, hey, this business is its own entity separate from me. And here's the cool part about LLCs that most people miss. They offer amazing flexibility while still giving you solid protection. You get to choose how you want to be taxed, either as a sole proprietor, which is the default for single-member LLCs, or as a corporation. This means you can avoid that nasty double taxation that corporations face, but still get the liability protection. It's like having your cake and eating it too. Now, let me show you how an LLC separates you from your business. When you're a sole proprietor, you and your business are basically the same thing in the eyes of the law. But with an LLC, it's like your business becomes its own person. It can enter contracts, own property, and even get sued, all without directly involving your personal assets. It's like giving your business its own identity. So let's look at a real example of how this works. I know a guy who ran a construction company as a sole proprietor. One day, a client slipped and fell on a job site and sued for $100,000. As a sole proprietor, my friend's personal assets were on the line. But if he had been an LLC, the lawsuit would have been limited to his business assets, keeping his personal stuff safe. Now, you might be thinking this sounds complicated, but here's the truth. Setting up an LLC is way simpler than you would expect. It's mostly paperwork and a few fees, but it's nothing compared to the peace of mind you get. Plus, having an LLC can actually make your business look more professional and credible to clients and partners. So, what are the steps to convert a sole proprietorship to an LLC? It's pretty straightforward. In the next section, we'll break down each step of the process so you can start protecting your assets ASAP. Trust me, once you've got your LLC shield up, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. So, have you ever wondered why some business owners hesitate to form an LLC? It's often because they think the process is complicated. But here's a surprising fact. Most people can complete the entire LLC conversion in less time than it takes to binge watch a season of their favorite show. Ready to see how? Alright, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of making this happen. First things first, you need to pick a name for your LLC. This is where you get to flex your creative muscles, but there are a few rules to follow. Your business name needs to include LLC or limited liability company, and it has to be unique in your state. Think of it like choosing a username that hasn't been taken yet. Some states also have restrictions on certain words, so double check before you fall in love with a name. Next up is choosing a registered agent. Sounds fancy, right? But it's actually pretty simple. This is just a person or company that agrees to receive legal documents for your LLC. They need a physical address in your state, and they're basically your business's official mail person for important stuff. You can be your own registered agent, but many people use a service to keep things professional and ensure nothing slips through the cracks. So here's where a lot of people get stuck, but it's actually pretty easy. Filing your articles of organization. This is basically just a formal document you submit to your state, usually to the Secretary of State's office. It includes basic info like your LLC's name, address, purpose, and who your registered agent is. Each state has its own fees and processing times, but using an online formation service can often speed things up. Now for the part that really makes your LLC official, creating an operating agreement. Not all states require this, but trust me, you want one. It's like a rule book for your LLC, outlining how it'll be run and who owns what. It can save you from a lot of headaches down the road if there are ever any disputes. Next step is getting your EIN. It's like a social security number, but for your business. You'll need this for things like hiring employees and opening a business bank account. The good news? You can get it for free online from the IRS, and it only takes a few minutes. And speaking of bank accounts, opening a separate one for your business is crucial. It keeps your personal and business finances separate, which is super important for maintaining that liability protection we talked about earlier. Most banks will want to see your articles of organization and EIN to set this up. Lastly, don't forget to update any business licenses and permits. Your new LLC structure might require different paperwork than your sole proprietorship did. It's worth checking with your local authorities to make sure you're all squared away. And that's it. See, it's not as scary as you thought. Converting to an LLC is really just a series of straightforward steps. And remember, you don't have to go at it alone. There are plenty of services out there that can handle most of this process for you, making it even easier to get that LLC shield up and running. Before you know it, you'll be operating with the peace of mind that comes from knowing your personal assets are protected. So let's wrap this up and move on to how this change affects your taxes. All right, so your LLC is set up and your personal assets are protected. But here's where things gets really interesting. Your taxes. You see, most people think that taxes are fixed, but with an LLC, you've just opened up a world of flexibility. Ready to see how this could work in your favor? Okay, now let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, taxes. I know, good joke. When you switch from a sole proprietorship to an LLC, your tax situation can change significantly. But don't worry, it's mostly good news. And the primary benefit? Pass-through taxation. This means the LLC's profits are reported on your personal tax return avoiding that dreaded double taxation corporations faced. Now, here's what it looks like in practice. As an LLC member, you'll still pay taxes on your business income, but you've got more control over how it's structured. Your business profits pass through to your personal taxes, just like they did when you were a sole proprietor. But here's the kicker. You might be able to take advantage of some sweet deductions that can lower your overall tax burden. And this is where it gets interesting for your wallet. Remember, as an LLC owner, you're still subject to self-employment tax. But don't let that scare you. The LLC structure opens up opportunities for deductions that could potentially save you money in the long run. And you've also got options. One of the coolest things about LLCs is their flexibility when it comes to tax classification. You can choose to be taxed as a sole proprietorship, which is the default for single member LLCs, a partnership, an s-corp, or even a c-corp. Each of these has different tax implications and benefits, so you can pick the one that works best for your business. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds complicated, and you're right, it can be. That's why it's super important to consult with professional services. They can help you navigate these choices and make sure you're not leaving money on the table. Plus, they'll keep you compliant with all your tax obligations, which is crucial for maintaining that limited liability protection we work so hard to set up. All right, so here's the bottom line. Converting to an LLC is your secret weapon for protection and growth. It's not just about shielding your personal assets. It's about setting yourself up for success. And remember what Richard Branson said, business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. With an LLC, you're ready to jump on those opportunities without risking everything you own. So if you take one thing away from this video, let it be this. Don't wait to protect yourself. The process is simpler than you think, and the peace of mind is priceless. So, ready to take action? I've got a great deal for you guys. Use my link in the description of this video to form your LLC or transition from a sole proprietorship to an LLC, and Northwest registered agents can help you do that for as little as $39. They'll handle all the paperwork and make sure you're set up right. So I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time.